We are in the process of developing a longer-term relationship with Jaggi and international attorneys at law, and we will be very glad that interns get a person of that renown and that experience and that patience to teach. Now I should say not just the next generation, but next generation.
I'm nearly an octogenarian, sir. Not a less septuagenarian, more octogenarian.
One small question, and then Akhil can go back to his curiosities. And that is, what is the additional knowledge base they need for the practice of international?
I was talking to that gentleman, Mr. Dwivedi, and he said you opened a new branch. Office. Discipline, international studies.
That's right.
I think that's a very good idea.
Fine.
There is so much professional possibilities and 100% chances of, job opportunities on this international. Because what is geopolitical knowledge is almost totally lacking in this country.
Incidentally, we are also introducing courses on geopolitics. I am myself developing 2 courses, one for the bachelor level and another for...
Yes, sir.
Yeah, covered the topic.
Geopolitical, yes. Because that is very important. I went to Chandigarh University and they started like this, the possibilities, opportunities on, international law.
Okay.
And they are able to get 60 plus students in a few weeks before the start of the session. They are all invited from all over the place because nobody knew that, look, these are the opportunities that are coming up to you.
This is Paragdiman who's...
No, I met Mr. Sandhu, the owner, Mr. O.P. Midda. Mr. O.P. Midda was there. And I met Mr. Sandhu himself.
Okay.
That was, I was to although, when he invited Mr. Amit Shah also, I was to go there also. That time it clashed with I had to go to lovely professional university with Mr. Ashok Mittal and Mr. Rashmi Mittal. They're very, very kind. Like this, there also we starting like this.
You're starting what? International law?
International studies.
International studies, very fantastic, yeah.
On the question of geopolitics, I was asked at a university, I have a grievance against Professor Jetli because I asked him, I said, you must invite me at a time. And he never invited me here. I said, then I'd have shown you what a real lawyer is. I'd have shown. Kapil Sibal. That you have to judge, na? You have to judge that. Like how, like Kapil Sibal, like how, what do you call like this? Because you get to know what exactly is the law.
He has very wide and deep knowledge.
Very, very, very knowledge base. And there's a time when one of the judges is going to be Chief Justice, he was Chief Justice of a court, likely to go to Supreme Court, and he was a law minister. So I caught him there and he's begging, don't catch Kapil, because I'll lose my chance of going to the Supreme Court. Never went also. And he says, I'm not a snob. I'm not an elite. I am a poor man. I'm a refugee. We lived a family of 10 people living in a 2-room apartment, a tenement. I am you. And wins a president of the Supreme Court bar election. That's called a complete mastery of legal knowledge. No matter where you are, no matter what the situation. That's it. Everyone left hanging.
So what's the learning here?
Learning here is Chanakya Niti, Kautilya Arthashastra, Machiavelli, all rolled into one. If you're a lawyer, you must know everything about everything. Know your geopolitics, know your geography, know your history, know your background. Plan it in such a way you can't fail. We had great times.
So, sir, one more thing. You also discussed about the incidents and your time spent with Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton.
No, not what you call time spent. So neither very big people, but yes, were instances there. My wife was a classmate of Hillary Clinton, studied together at Yale. And when Bill Clinton was installed as the president, we were invited to the White House. And so I shared. My wife and Hillary are dowdy professors, professorial, academically oriented. Bill and I are fun-loving, so we got along well. And that is Have I extended my time?
No. I was asking for water.
No. Sure.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
So, coming back to the main source of this legal insight, the international law. I have seen many of the students are more inclined now towards international law.
Yes.
What do you have to say on this?
Absolutely. Because, see, after all, what is happening is, in reality, there are far too many law students coming out, and hundreds every time they are enrolled as lawyers. And the workload, without knowing, it's like a bhed chal. Now we are at this tunnel. Opening is here. And when the opening is here, these people can only move forward when they get opportunities. Opportunities are lesser, demand is less, supply is more. They're all stuck here. And they're all stuck in the tunnel. And people are coming at the back. Coming not in hundreds, thousands a year. Now, unless these people move forward, get opportunities, and people in the tunnel move forward, they enter and they go there, what's happening? So there's a huge line. So what do you do? It's not that opportunities are not less. Opportunities are still 200% more than the supply. You've got to know where. Like I talked of holidays law, that's one more thing is the international law. The present regime under the aegis of Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Damodar Modi ji has created a virtual, realistic, vast opening for the law students. Today we are recognized not only as a third world country, we are recognized as a powerful country where India plays a very strong diplomatic role, where India plays a role akin to what Europe or the five United Security Council countries played. That gives an opening, a vast opening on the international front. There's so much work like this. Today, it is the organization that I head as a president, we issue international driving permits. Now you're there in a foreign country. If you go on your domestic license and you don't take an international driving permit, suppose there's an accident or anything, you won't get insurance, you're not protected. But this international driving permit shows all these facilities to you. Similarly, there are so many openings, like so many people are traveling. When I was representing the US Embassy, a lot of people would be there. Because what is important, time is the essence of contracts in European countries. If they say, send us the goods at this time, if you don't send within time, they're not going to accept it. Because they've got their planned Christmas sale.
Yeah, the whole supply chain is
like this. So that is a lot of litigation there. A lot of Indians there kar denge. That doesn't work there. So this is there. Then in the European Union, there is so much opportunity, so much unity. You go to one country. I mean, like, look at the number of barristers you have in Canada. Look at the number of barristers you have in England, the attorneys you have in UK, USA. There's a vast scope on every aspect on the international scene.
practice kind of monopolized by X number of firms only.
And that's the thing.
But these are Indian firms or they are firms?
No, the 12, 13 are coming, in 25, 26. They're going to be coming back here. I mean, see, because look, it's like this, bad market, poor market. One good shop comes, one good mall store comes, the market changes. Khanna market, small market. One good shop comes. So one law firm comes. Once they have the discipline, the difference will be there. What they've already in their network, most of these, these people who are law degrees who are not very competent in the command of the language. See, it will be back to the old way of law. Old way of law is that that command of the English language is a must. See, no matter how many we may change IPC to the present name, Hindi name, but you can't change, law cannot be changed except in the language of English. So therefore you have to, and when you have to go to the nuances and the finest parts of the language, it's very important that you have a command of this thing.
Last query from my side.
Why do you want me to go before giving me lunch or what?
No. Lunch will definitely be there, and we would certainly like to associate with your firm, yourself, for providing internship to our students, but that's not a problem at all, so that Akhil can ask you more questions. So therefore, last query from my side. Has Google, Internet, now increasingly AI,
Yes.
has it had impact on documentation and law, and will it have?
It's very painful. Like, for example, the first case, artificial intelligence was used by the Punjab and Haryana High Court in a criminal case, but that's about 10 months ago, right? Now, what is said? There's another aspect. Chat GPT. He's a genius like this. What the students do? They go there, Chat GPT, take out everything, but you can't do that. Because you have to apply that to the peculiar facts and circumstances of your case. You know that boy Shreyas Priplani is doing all right like this.
Yes.
As a student, he became a content writer. They become content writers. You can't become a content writer unless you understand the full case.
This younger generation says that this kind of comment is by older generation,
Yes.
and that they will somehow manage, because that it will happen otherwise. Those who don't utilize these tools,
Yes.
They will get left behind, because
Yes. I am to the contrary. I say this: they help you save some time. That's all. They help you save some time. You take out this. But after all, they've also been created by a person who never himself was competent enough to be a true lawyer.
Or we may have been.
Wikipedia and all that stuff, Grammarly and all that stuff, they say this word is a thing. I said, no, the meaning of this is this. You go to a dictionary, you go to an encyclopedia, that's where you find the correct meaning. Because in English language, every epithet has 10 different connotations. Ascertain, ascertain. It becomes a verb, adverb, and that is important. ChatGPT is not going to tell you this. It helps you ease, instead of going searching through books and all, that it does. But that is not enough. I had this boy I mentioned, he was a content writer. And he was going to bill somebody $40 or something like this for a draft. I just saw it. I said, you're going to be kicked. You before becoming a lawyer, you'll be sent to jail. What are you writing? He said, they have accepted. I said, one, if the matter goes to court, you'll be caught. First of all, you're not a licensed advocate, you're only a student. How do you do it? कहते चलता है. I said, चलता है नहीं है. चलता है तब तक जब तक पता नहीं लगा. And it happened on that case while as a student. The matter went to litigation. The other lawyer thrashed him.
Okay.
And then he came running to me. I said, look, I told you.
Same guy.
Same guy. He's now a very ardent, पाँव तो छूता है पर ऊपर से ही छूता है. Like this. I saved him. I said, look, I told you do this. See, they think ये बना के दे दिया. If the matter goes to court or the other party is not satisfied and they bring their lawyer, he'll thrash you. They'll find all the arguments against you. That's very important. The younger generation think there's a new concept, legal entrepreneur. What legal entrepreneur? Law is something where you do not solicit. As a legal entrepreneur, yes, you need business profession also like this, but then you do it in a different manner. Keep the sanctity, the dignity and the distinction of the legal profession, and then I know there's one lawyer, he came from a particular state. What he would do, he would go to every market. आपका कोई चेक बाउंस हुआ, लाओ मुझे दो, मैं आपका केस फ्री कर दूंगा. वो आता था, वकालतनामा साइन कराता था, केस फाइल कर देता था, कहता पैसे दो इतने. उन्होंने कहा तो फ्री करने को बोला था. He says no, पैसे दो तो मैं चेक नहीं देता.
या परसेंटेज दो. Legal entrepreneurship.
Legal entrepreneurship. Thank you very much.
So, sir, before ending this, I will move to a rapid fire round.
I
will be asking you small questions and you have to give a one-liner answer. Sir.
अभी तो मेरी भड़ास नहीं निकली है. इतनी जल्दी.
उसके लिए एक सेपरेट सेशन भी रखेंगे. कर लो
ना करो.
कपिल जी को भी बुलाना है.
Yes,
Definitely, sir.
Yes, you must call him. Yes, that's important. See,
अपना शो बनाते, अपना शो है ना उनका.
Kapil Sharma नहीं, Kapil Sibal.
I know.
अच्छा.
Kapil Sibal का.
अपना show, I don't know.
Now he calls the people to his drawing room and picture.
Yeah.
मेरे को
We
नहीं
also started this podcast.
मेरे को नहीं इनवाइट करेगा कभी भी. I wish can if you recommend this is the thing that
Definitely, sir, I will try, sir. So my first question is, sir, one legal reform do you wish to see in India?
the law colleges and the law universities must insist on compulsory attendance. Must insist on compulsory attendance. If they don't insist upon, how can you train I mean, it's a vast curriculum. I mean, they must. They can be kind to the student because they have what you call like this, but attendance must be. When there's a class, don't have class all 6 days a week. Make it 3 days, make it 4 days, but insist on those 3 days or 4 days a week. They insist. That's a very, very. I mean, like it's unimaginable that you are doing law without attending classes.
What is your next question?
Your favorite book or resource for law and leadership?
I have so many. I have so
I
many.
remember you have a huge library.
Yes,
That's why, sir.
my father's. Not possible to say, but I would say any book by Mr. Palkiwala, Mr. Fali Nariman, Mr. Soli Surabji, or any of these doyens, Mr. Lal Narayan Sinha, Siddharth Shankar Ray. They've not written books, but anything, because they speak of what is the real law. I mean, what a law should be.
How come these Parsi gentlemen were in the forefront?
So their honesty, sir. So I'll share with you a very, very interesting case. I was a standing counsel, Mrs. Indira Gandhi's time, standing counsel, central government. There was a very famous case, Palm Olive case, a very top family affair. And the case was being argued by Mr. Fali Nariman. And there was a prejudice because I am a Punjabi. At that time, when those, the Kais were of original majority of inhabitants of Delhi. So they had a bit of a bias, Kais. They looked down upon us Punjabis as uncultured or, compared to them, they thought they were more cultured. So this Kais Chief Justice was particularly, his prejudice towards the Punjabis was fairly, known, but, everyone knew about it. So if the Punjabi had to appear, they'd always engage a Kais lawyer also with them, just to ease the situation. In this case, I was arguing the matter. Mr. Nariman, the judge had said or passed the orders against the government, against me. Suddenly I found Sarla Grewal and Shanta Grewal, the Deputy Director General and Director General Import and Export, coming here, and both of them huffing and puffing, coming at the court on the second floor, Delhi High Court. Sir, these signatures are not mine, they are forged. They are saying this. And Mr. Nariman, I was this side, I was the respondent, they were this side, they came this. Mr. Nariman heard this. Sir, he said, sir, your lordship, I need, the Justice Prakash Nayan said, no, we passed the orders. We are in the process of finishing the order. We already granted stay. He said, no, your lordship. Mr. Nariman says, sir, I am recusing myself from this case. I am returning the fee. I shall not represent a client who has forged the signatures.
Okay.
Mr. Fali S. Nariman. This is what he said. Case, government case. Take out the record. Shanta Grewal, Sarla Grewal, and everything. Yeah. And that's the kind of honesty, integrity. I mean, they would ask a question. I know once a judge.
You mean that businessman had got the signature?
It's forged there. वो बड़ा ये he was in import export. Palm olive वाला जो case था. This is 1980 की बात है. It's quite a few years back, 1980.
So, are you suggesting such a case is a compulsory reading, or is his question?
No. I'm talking of when he said about the books. He said he gave me a lot of points in that.
Yeah.
But I say because they had integrity. See, money didn't matter to them. They had said we'll return the fees. I remember once a judge asked my father, I ask you at the bar. When you ask a question, the judge says, I ask you at the bar, it means that you have to tell me, not in favor of your client, tell exactly what you know. So my father saying honestly. Once a judge asked me, I want you to know what do you say at the bar. That means you're not representing your client. So if you tell them honestly, the Parsis used to do that. Other people don't. I'm not idealizing or buttering or flattering a particular community, but they had.
But my curiosity was more
Yeah.
that second, third generation of Parsis has not become that.
They're almost extinct.
Yeah.
Same, Rohinton Nariman as a judge was also, there's no match. No match. Soli Swaraj is no match with that. No, that kind of integrity.
They are stalwarts.
They're Siddharth Shankar Ray, Lal Narayan Sinha, Manu Singhvi's father, L.M. Singhvi, what a distinguished person. They're class apart.
But this would have been a personal sort of a thing. His question is about...
No, it would have tremendous political impact.
Yeah.
Tremendous political impact. That was situation. I'm answering on the situation. The other was one of the toughest cases that I had was Hyderabad asbestos. The judgment came on 26th of May 1980 again. I was a standing counsel of central government, and there were 8 cases. I was opposed by all the top legal luminaries except Mr. Palkiwala. All the top people, the top people like this. I had only one junior with me who was 6 months in the family way. Government didn't give me funds. So when they started speaking, I was only a junior. Mr. K. Prasan, his father, the gentleman's father, K. Prasan, who was Attorney General, Solicitor General, he was to argue the case. And when they argued for 4 days, and when my turn came, he was stuck up in the Supreme Court. I asked the judges, please give me a short adjournment. It says 50,000 rupees costs.
Okay.
I said, government is not going to give me the cost. I can't, I'm not going to pay out of my pocket. I couldn't have afforded also. So I kept asking them for an adjournment. They didn't give me an adjournment. They gave me a passover. And fortunately, after the passover, the case did not come there. So I went with the undersecretary who was looking after the case. I went with him. He said, come and meet the secretary, finance secretary, South Indian gentleman. We went there. So I went there and I asked him, what do I do? Mr. Prasan was to argue. It's a very big, 64 crores, 1980 was a lot of money. I said, what do I do? He says, you do one thing. You argue the case. I said, all right, give me in writing. He said, I can't give you in writing. I said, what? I said, then do one thing. Send the undersecretary. He'll not sit at the back. While I'm arguing, he'll stand next to me. And that, it was a very difficult, because one of the judges, government had changed between 77 and 79. One of the judges was appointed of the interim government. The other one, the senior judge, was a regular member, integral member, a very powerful member of that government, 77 to 79. So it was a very tough time. And here it was a question of the present government's honor. I kept arguing like this. Ultimately, this undersecretary told me, take this strategy. And you know who that undersecretary was? Today he runs the biggest, it was a case on excise. Today he's one of the biggest lawyers of the country. Mr. Lakshmi Kumaran.
Okay.
Lakshmi Kumaran, he was my student. I won that case. I didn't win that case. He won that case. He gave me the points. He told me that was a tougher situation, like this is how you wriggle out. And you know how he won the case? He said, look, you can only win the case because both the judges, if you start using your high value, highfalutin English, because Soli Swarabji has been using this, his verbosity, use that. Bring in things and say, of course, your lordship is aware of this doctrine, Both the judges would not know, right? And he said, and then you come into extraction, excise like from the ground like this. 4 hours I argued, extempore of a subject I knew nothing about. First case on excise, and probably never had any more cases on excise after that. But won that case because of that undersecretary. Now he was one of the largest, topmost law firms. Because I put in, I said, your lordship is aware of the doctrine of artificial conceptualism. This. Oh, man, who they your lordship are aware, I have to explain. No, we don't. And the nexus test. Lordship, where the sepulchre comes in and where the tombstone in the graveyard comes in. That's the difference. Till date, I owe tremendous teacher to मैं था, but I became a student of Lakshmi Kumaram and he's a teacher. Very fine gentleman today. He's one of the finest law firms.
So, if not law, what would have been your alternative career choice?
I was a good cricketer, but those days test players were paid, cricket test, there was no T20, no 50-50. Test players were paid 500 rupees for a match, which came 5 matches after in 2 years. It was only Nawab of Pataudi, Mansoor Ali Khan, Pataudi, Tiger Pataudi. When he became the captain, he said कि rest day वाले दिन भी मिलेगा, तो 600 रुपया मिलता था एक टेस्ट का. Salim Durrani, Montajan Ali, Lakshmi Narasu Jaisima, the guru of Sunil Gavaskar, they all died in extreme poverty. Sardeep Desai, father of this who's that Rajdeep Sar Desai, he died in extreme poverty. This fellow did not look after his father. Sunil Gavaskar and Sachin Tendulkar and all, they paid for his treatment. Most of these cricketers, Bapu Nadkarni died in extreme poverty. So there was no money. No money. Salim Durrani acted in a movie also with Praveen Bavi, but they died. I mean, there was no career. But in reality, if I had not done law, they were copying the words of Mr. Sachin Tendulkar.
The best one.
Yeah.
The best one.
Yeah. He said कि हाँ मतलब वो था, because I'm a perfectionist. Yes.
Dr. Khan sir, I would like to conclude this session.
I don't think I want to conclude it. I just want to put a stop on it with thanks and with the hope that we will continue this dialogue.
Yes, sir, it's a big honor. I mean, I'm truly, deeply.
Time also, we will have all the students in person. And
Kapil Sibal also.
Yes. No. That's. See, if you can manage that, you see, I mean, going to happen in a national law school, going to happen here, that is important. We are the students become the judges. What I say is something very meaningless. They have to judge. They have to see who had the thing. That wit, that repartee, that response, laughing. That's important. Calling one person there is, I mean, next time call people, I mean, get the best. Let them be the star show, be the underdog. That's how the learning is going to take place. No? How will you learn that how can an underdog be against a major?
I would also like to thank you, Akhil, and to Stuti and to young ladies and to your director, Dr. Preaching, that you have begun this exercise of legal insights. The thing to do then is to continue with this and also be quite well prepared about the individual, about his knowledge and so on, so that the best things can be brought out. So, with that hope, we make this exercise, maybe a monthly exercise.
Yes.
And thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
For giving this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.